What would you do if your own son and wife conspired to take everything from you? I faced betrayal so deep it left me questioning everything until I discovered the truth. I trusted them with my life, and they betrayed me. Every lie, every secret, every stolen dollar. Tonight, justice will be served. When your family turns against you, revenge isn't just an option, it becomes a necessity. This is my story of betrayal and reckoning. Welcome back to your ultimate destination for gripping revenge stories, family betrayals, shocking betrayals, and emotional justice. Subscribe now and join a community and tell us where you're watching from. Turn on the notification bell for our next story. Are you ready to witness the ultimate payback? Let's get started. MacPherson sits at the dining table, the reflection of his son's handprint still burning on his cheek. The grand house is quiet, but his mind is loud with betrayal. Internal monologue, voiceover. I raised him better than this. I thought love was enough. But apparently, love isn't enough for greed. He remembers the wedding preparations, the invitations, the expense list Aaron had sent last week, demanding luxury beyond reason. He recalls conversations with his wife, Susan, who urged caution. MacPherson, maybe we shouldn't push him too hard. He's young, emotional. Perhaps. No, Susan. I cannot give him money I don't have. We've taught him responsibility. We can't let greed override everything else. That evening, Aaron storms out. The house is silent except for the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hall. MacPherson sits alone in the dimly lit study, his thoughts racing. I can't believe my own blood would strike me. I was humiliated, hurt, and afraid, but I need to understand why. MacPherson calls his lawyer, Mr. Daniels, a trusted advisor for decades. Daniels, I need you to check every account, every contract, every spending my son has done. Something feels off. Of course, sir. I'll start immediately. But, MacPherson, be prepared. I have a feeling this is bigger than you think. Should MacPherson confront his son now or investigate first? Share your thoughts. MacPherson sits at the study window, looking out at the sprawling mansion. The night is quiet, but his mind is a storm. He knows revenge may not be immediate. It will take patience, observation, and cunning. The next morning, MacPherson woke to the cold light filtering through the study windows. His cheeks still stung, but the pain in his heart was far deeper. Aaron hadn't come home. The silence of the house pressed down on him like a weight he couldn't shake. I raised him with care, with love, and this is the gratitude I receive? No, there must be more to this. MacPherson paced, thinking about the lawyer's warning. He remembered every argument, every tantrum over money, and a nagging feeling gnawed at him. Aaron's demands weren't just about the wedding. Something else was hiding behind those pleading eyes. He picked up his phone and called Mr. Daniels. MacPherson, Daniels, any updates? Mr. Daniels, sir. I'm still reviewing the accounts. But there are unusual transfers, suspicious expenditures. I can't say much yet, but I think your son has been misleading you. Misleading me? How? I trusted him with everything. We need evidence. But prepare yourself. This may not be just about the wedding, said Mr. Daniel. MacPherson felt a cold shiver crawl down his spine. Misleading him? Could it be true that Aaron had been lying all along? His mind raced back to moments he had brushed off. The odd text messages, the secret phone calls, the excuses about extra medical expenses and urgent needs. He walked through the grand halls of his mansion, touching the walls he had built with love and care. Every corner, every photograph now felt tainted. MacPherson flashback to the day he graduated, the day he took his first steps, the day I signed the first checks for his education. I thought I was raising a man of integrity. Suddenly, a notification beeped on his phone. It was a message from Aaron. Don't worry about the wedding money, Dad. I'll manage. Just relax. MacPherson stared at it, feeling a mix of anger and dread. Something about the tone, it wasn't sincere. It felt rehearsed, calculated, almost mocking. He decided he couldn't wait. He drove to Aaron's supposed apartment in the city. The streets were wet from last night's rain, reflecting the neon lights like shattered glass. His heart pounded, each beat echoing the betrayal he felt. When he arrived, the door was wide open. Music thumped from inside, a bass so loud it rattled the windows. He stepped in cautiously, and what he saw froze him to the spot. Aaron, surrounded by friends, glasses of champagne in hand, laughing and toasting. Luxury watches glinted under the chandelier. Expensive liquor bottles lined the marble countertops. Not a hint of injury, not a trace of hardship. MacPherson voice trembling. Aaron, what is this? Dad? Just having a little fun. Relax, this is how life is supposed to be. Fun? I've been paying for your care, your nurses, your lies, all while you partied. Aaron, laughing care? Lies. You made it sound so dramatic. Come on, Dad, lighten up. MacPherson felt a mix of rage, humiliation, and disbelief. Every fiber of his being screamed that justice needed to be served. The betrayal wasn't just personal. It was calculated, systematic, and cruel. I've been blind to the truth, blinded by love. But now I see. Every dollar, every excuse, every tear. He used me. And I will not let this go unanswered. He left the apartment without a word, his mind already forming the plan. Aaron had underestimated him, and that mistake would cost him everything. MacPherson sits in his car, gripping the steering wheel. Rain streaks across the windshield, mirroring the storm inside him. MacPherson returned to his mansion, the rain still dripping from the eaves, leaving dark stains on the marble driveway. Inside, the house was silent. Every room he entered echoed with memories of love, laughter, and trust, now all twisted into reminders of betrayal. He sank into his study chair, staring blankly at the city lights through the window. The anger in him was a roaring inferno, but beneath it, a sharp, cold clarity was forming. This wasn't just about humiliation. It was about justice. Aaron thinks he's untouchable. He used my love, my money, my trust, but every empire, even a son's deception, can be broken if you know where to strike. MacPherson opened a drawer and pulled out a small black notebook he kept for years, details of finances, contracts, family obligations. He flipped through pages marked with notes about Aaron's allowances, school fees, and past expenditures. There were patterns, small inconsistencies, unexplained withdrawals, luxury bills, and secret accounts. He picks up his phone and calls Mr. Daniels. Daniels, I need everything. Bank statements, credit cards, luxury purchases. I want names, dates, every expense my son has hidden. Sir, are you sure? This could expose a lot, and it may hurt him legally. MacPherson grimly, I don't care about legal niceties. He betrayed me. I need proof. I need the truth. MacPherson reviewing hidden bills and suspicious purchases. Old emails from Aaron showing manipulation and excuses. Newspaper clippings of luxury stores, private jets, and exotic vacations. Flashbacks of Aaron asking for money while pretending to be helpless. The house was filled with shadows, the only sound his pen scratching notes as he mapped out every deceit. The longer he studied, the clearer the path became. Patience, evidence, and timing. He would not confront blindly. He would dismantle Aaron's lies piece by piece. I've loved him blindly for 25 years. I've sheltered him, protected him, and he took it all for granted. But I am not powerless. He underestimated me, and that is his fatal mistake. Susan entered the study quietly. Mac, maybe this obsession with revenge, it's consuming you. Shouldn't you just confront him? If I confront him now, he will deny everything. I need proof, Susan. Evidence. Then he will see the consequences. And what if this changes you? Said Susan. What if revenge takes you further than you imagined? MacPherson said coldly, revenge isn't about anger. It's about justice. And he will understand that, soon enough. That night, MacPherson sat by the window, the notebook open before him. He traced lines connecting secret accounts, hidden purchases, and patterns of deceit. The mansion felt smaller, the walls closing in, but he welcomed the darkness. It sharpened his mind. MacPherson remembered Aaron pretending to struggle with his paralysis, calling for nurses, and MacPherson dutifully paying for care. The contrast hits hard. The son's lies and MacPherson's blind trust. I've been patient. I've been kind. I've been blind. But now, the mask falls, and the truth will be undeniable. MacPherson's eyes harden. He picks up his phone again. MacPherson plans were Step 1, gather evidence. Step 2, expose every lie. Step 3, justice. If you discovered someone you loved was lying to you for years, would you strike immediately or plan your revenge? Comment your choice below. The mansion is silent, shadows stretching across the walls. MacPherson's pen scratches in the notebook, a map of deceit unfolding. Outside, rain continues to fall, each drop echoing the storm inside him. He has descended into darkness, but it is the darkness of clarity, not chaos. MacPherson moved silently through his mansion, the black notebook clutched tightly in his hands. Each page contained evidence of Aaron's deception, meticulously documented over the past week. Tonight was the beginning of a new phase, observation and subtle strikes. His hunt had begun. Revenge isn't a blind strike. It's a calculated game. Every move counts. Every lie he's told, every manipulation, I will unravel, and he will feel it. MacPherson started visiting the accounts, private clubs, and properties Aaron had secretly purchased. He enlisted Mr. Daniels to monitor transactions discreetly, avoiding suspicion. Every extravagant purchase became a thread he could pull, each leading to more secrets. Dialogue MacPherson called his lawyer My Daniel. Tell me everything. All dates, amounts, locations. I want a full map of his lies. Mr. Daniels. Sir, he's living a lifestyle most people can only dream of. It's shocking, even luxurious beyond reason. Good. The higher the pedestal, the harder the fall, said MacPherson. The next day, MacPherson attended a charity gala where Aaron was expected to appear with his friends. From across the room, MacPherson observed every detail. The expensive watch glinting under the chandelier, the laughter that echoed like a challenge, the careless confidence in his son's posture. He flaunts what he took from me as if it's his birthright. Soon, every lie will be exposed, and I will watch him stumble. MacPherson approached Aaron casually, masking his intent. Aaron, I hear your company has been doing quite well. Luxury travels, investments, you've been busy. Aaron responded, Of course, Dad. I work hard. You taught me that. Isn't that what you wanted? Yes, but I hope honesty is part of the lesson too. Aaron's smile faltered slightly. It was subtle, but MacPherson noticed, the first crack in the face. Over the next week, MacPherson planted small traps to confirm Aaron's pattern of lies. He sent vague messages implying he knew about undisclosed accounts and monitored Aaron's reactions. A lie has weight. The longer it's carried, the heavier it becomes. I just need him to stumble under it. Aaron, oblivious, responded to every subtle cue. His nervous tics, slight hesitation, a faint stutter in conversation. MacPherson recorded every detail in his notebook. Each observation sharpened the strategy. The bigger the lie, the more devastating the exposure. MacPherson also reached out to a few people Aaron had interacted with, business associates, friends, even staff who had noticed inconsistencies. Some were reluctant, others shocked, but all became pieces in MacPherson's web of truth. I need honesty. Every detail matters. Don't sugarcoat anything. Associate. Sir, he's been hiding things for years. Some of this, it's unbelievable. MacPherson, unbelievable is exactly what I need. Back at the mansion, MacPherson sat in his study, watching Aaron's world through reports, photos, and messages. Each new revelation tightened the coil of tension inside him. This is only the beginning. He thinks he's untouchable, but every laugh, every drink, every lie is now part of the net. And soon he will feel it. If you were in MacPherson's shoes, would you strike now or wait for the perfect moment? What would you do? MacPherson sat in his study, the rain tapping against the window like impatient fingers. The files Mr. Daniels had compiled were spread across his desk. Bank statements, credit card records, hotel bills, private club memberships, and unexplained wire transfers. Each page painted a darker picture than he had imagined. I knew Aaron had been lying, but I didn't realize the depth of it. This wasn't just greed, it was deception perfected over years. Every tear, every plea a lie. As he sifted through the documents, MacPherson discovered messages between Aaron and a business associate. The tone was casual, almost jovial, but the content was shocking. Thanks for covering the extra funds. Dad believes I can't manage without him. This is perfect. MacPherson felt a wave of nausea. His own son had been exploiting his trust for luxury and indulgence, laughing behind his back while pretending helplessness. So it's true. Every tear, every complaint, every story of hardship, all lies. He played me like a fool. He dug further and uncovered emails from Susan and Aaron, conspiring to declare him incompetent and take control of the family estate. Each message revealed not only deceit, but a carefully orchestrated plan. I should have seen it. The way they subtly undermined me, the excuses, The delays, they were preparing this for years. And I was blind. MacPherson's hands trembled, not from fear, but from a cold, calculated rage. This revelation transformed his grief into steel. He now understood that his fight was not just about money. It was about honor, justice, and the betrayal of blood. He replayed every moment from the past months, connecting the dots. Aaron's feigned paralysis, the fake medical bills, the carefully timed indulgences, the lies to staff, and even Susan's complicity, all pieces of a puzzle that formed a portrait of betrayal. They thought I was weak, that I would give in, that I wouldn't see the web they wove. But now, I see everything, and I will act. The revelation hit him like a thunderclap. This was not just a single betrayal. It was a conspiracy. His family had turned against him, and the mansion he had built was no longer a sanctuary. It was a stage for their lies. MacPherson's grief and rage collided. Memories of Aaron as a boy, moments of pride and love, the laughter of family dinners, all now tainted by deception. The house felt colder, larger, as if the walls themselves mourned the innocence that had been stolen. He walked to the family portraits, touching Aaron's smiling face frozen in time, then Susan's gentle gaze. His voice was low, almost sorrowful. You took everything from me, my trust, my love, my peace. But you underestimated one thing. The father who raised you is still here, and justice will not wait. MacPherson knew the confrontation could not happen blindly. He needed patience, precision, and the perfect timing to expose the full truth. Every ally, every witness, every piece of evidence he had collected would now become a weapon, not against Aaron alone, but against the deceit that had poisoned the family. They think they've won. They think the game is theirs. But the hunter has learned the terrain. Every lie will surface. Every betrayal will be revealed. And when it happens, they will see the father they wronged in a way they never imagined. If you discovered someone you loved was plotting against you for years, would you confront them immediately or wait for the perfect moment? Comment below. MacPherson closes the last folder with a sharp snap. The mansion is quiet, but the storm in his mind rages on. His eyes glint with determination. The hunt is no longer subtle. The pieces are in place. Soon, the reckoning will begin. The mansion was quieter than usual. The storm outside had subsided, leaving behind a cold, still night. MacPherson sat in his study, notebook open, evidence spread across the desk. But for the first time since discovering Aaron and Susan's betrayal, he felt the faintest glimmer of hope, not from revenge, but from an unexpected ally. Even in darkness, there is light. Someone sees the truth. Someone who understands the pain and the need for justice. The phone rang softly, breaking the silence. It was Karis, a family friend and longtime confidant of MacPherson. She had always been loyal to him, but had stayed in the background, wary of family politics. Tonight, however, she had something urgent to share. Karis said, "MacPherson, I know what Aaron and Susan are planning. I've seen their emails, their hidden accounts. You're not alone in this." "MacPherson, Karis, are you sure? I can't risk anyone else turning against me. I've watched quietly for months. I believe in you, Mac. Together, we can expose them, carefully, without tipping them off." MacPherson felt a rush of gratitude. Karis wasn't just a supporter. She was a strategist, someone who could provide insight and a steady hand when his own anger threatened to cloud judgment. They met late at night in the study, reviewing every piece of evidence. Karis pointed out inconsistencies that MacPherson hadn't noticed, missing receipts, timing of phone calls, and suspicious associates who could corroborate the lies. "If we reveal this now, they'll deny everything. But if we gather witnesses, documents, and time the confrontation, the impact will be undeniable." "Yes," said MacPherson, precision. "Every lie, every betrayal, laid bare. They will have nowhere to hide. And you won't be acting alone. You have me, and anyone else willing to see the truth," said Karis. The night deepened as they mapped out the exposure, step by step, piece by piece, ensuring Aaron and Susan's elaborate deception could be dismantled completely. During the discussion, MacPherson realized that Karis's support brought more than strategy, it brought humanity. He had been consumed by rage and betrayal, but her presence reminded him that justice could be served without losing himself entirely. "I've been preparing to strike in anger, but with Karis, I see clarity. Revenge doesn't have to destroy me. It can restore balance, and reveal the truth. For a brief moment, MacPherson allowed himself to feel gratitude, even hope. The alliance was more than tactical, it was emotional. It reminded him that he wasn't powerless, that the betrayal of blood could be countered with integrity and intelligence. Karras and MacPherson began small maneuvers, testing how Aaron reacted to subtle truths being revealed indirectly, sending quiet messages that hinted he was being watched. Aaron's confidence began to falter, the first cracks in his armor forming. Karras, watch him closely. Even a slight hesitation is confirmation. He believes he's untouchable, but we'll show him he's not. MacPherson, nodding yes. This is only the beginning. As they wrapped the session, MacPherson looked at the mansion, the silent halls now filled with quiet anticipation. The alliance with Karras had transformed his approach, from solitary rage to coordinated strategy. Every lie Aaron and Susan had woven would now be unraveled, every betrayal accounted for. I am not alone. The truth will be revealed, and justice will be served. But when it comes, it will not be blind, it will be precise, calculated, and unstoppable. If you had someone you trusted on your side in the fight for justice, would you act boldly or patiently? Comment your strategy below. MacPherson closes the door to the study, Karras's reassuring presence lingering in his mind. Outside, the moon casts silver light on the mansion. Inside, a plan is forming. The hunt is no longer solitary. It is methodical, unstoppable, and about to reach its apex. The mansion was quiet, almost oppressively so. MacPherson sat at his desk, reviewing the final set of evidence with Karras. Everything was aligned. The financial fraud, the forged medical records, Aaron's lies, and Susan's secret communications. He was ready to expose the truth and reclaim what had been stolen. But as he flipped through the files one last time, a message appeared on his phone. The sender, an unknown number. Text message. If you proceed tonight, Mac, you'll regret it. Some truths are better left buried. MacPherson's stomach tightened. It could be anyone, a warning, a threat, or a betrayal. Who could be sending this? Someone knows our plan, someone close. Moments later, Karras entered the study with a nervous expression. Mac, I need to tell you something. What is it? Karras hesitant, voice trembling. I may have given some of our plan to someone. I didn't think it would matter, but MacPherson felt the room tilt. The trust he had placed in Karras, the bond that had strengthened his resolve, now wavered. Karras, why? Who? Karras ashamed. It was Susan, she found out. I didn't think it would hurt you. You endangered everything. Do you understand what this means? Said MacPherson. The weight of betrayal pressed down on him. Not only had Aaron and Susan lied and manipulated him, but now the one person he trusted most had faltered. MacPherson's rage boiled, but Karras's fear reminded him of the fine line between justice and cruelty. He could lash out, punish her, or he could stay focused on the ultimate goal, exposing Aaron and Susan. If I let anger control me, I become like them. I've promised myself justice, not destruction, but every fiber of my being wants to strike. He took a deep breath and made a decision. Karras would remain an ally, but every step would now be measured. Every trust, every move would be cautious. The betrayal had sharpened his focus. He would not fail. That night, MacPherson observed Aaron from a distance. Aaron hosted another extravagant gathering, confident, unaware that the web had tightened. But subtle signs revealed cracks, a slight hesitation when mentioning funds, a glance at a message on his phone that made him freeze, a friend whispering nervously to him. Internal monologue, voiceover. Even the mighty stumble when the foundation is rotten. He is human, flawed, and tonight, I will begin to expose it. Back at the mansion, MacPherson confronted Karras quietly. I cannot allow personal betrayal to cloud the mission. This is about truth, justice, and consequences. Nothing more, nothing less. Karras nodding, ashamed but determined. I understand. I'll follow your lead. I won't fail you again. The dark hours stretched long. MacPherson reviewed his strategy once more, adjusting for the new risk. Every piece of evidence, every witness, every subtle trap was now double-checked. The betrayal within had only made the plan stronger. The mansion is silent. The storm outside has returned, lightning flashing across the windows. MacPherson looks out, notebook in hand, a mix of rage and resolve etched on his face. They thought they could destroy me, They thought betrayal would win. But tonight, the reckoning begins. And when it ends, every lie will be laid bare. If someone you trusted deeply betrayed you at the worst possible time, could you forgive, or would revenge take over? Comment your choice below. MacPherson closes his notebook, the storm outside echoing the turmoil within. He is ready to move forward, but the path is now darker, sharper, and filled with tension. The final confrontation is imminent. The night had come. MacPherson stood at the edge of the grand dining hall, the mansion silent except for the soft hum of air conditioning and the distant patter of rain on the roof. Every piece of evidence he had gathered was ready: financial records, messages, photographs, and witness accounts. Tonight, the truth would be unveiled. Every lie, every betrayal, every ounce of deceit will come to light. This is not vengeance, it is justice, and they will see it. MacPherson had invited Aaron and Susan under the guise of a celebratory family dinner, knowing they would arrive with overconfidence. Karis, now fully loyal and cautious, was his silent partner, ready to reveal corroborating evidence at the right moment. MacPherson calmly said, "Dinner is served. Please sit down. I have something important to share." Aaron smirked, confident, unaware of the storm about to hit. Susan gave a polite smile, though MacPherson noticed a flicker of unease in her eyes. MacPherson started with subtlety, revealing anomalies in bills, medical records, and credit statements. "Aaron, you told me you needed care, that you couldn't manage. Yet these records show trips, parties, and luxury purchases I funded. Explain this." Aaron's face twitched. His smile faltered. Aaron stammering, "Dad, it's not what you think, isn't it? Or have you perfected the art of deceit?" said MacPherson. Susan tried to interject, but MacPherson's gaze silenced her. He pulled out more documents, transfers between hidden accounts, messages coordinating their plan to declare him incompetent. Every word, every number, every secret laid bare. There is no hiding now. The room felt heavy. Aaron's arrogance crumbled under scrutiny, his voice trembling. Aaron said, I didn't mean." MacPherson cutting him off. "You didn't mean to betray me? You don't get to rewrite the truth now. Every tear I shed, every dollar I gave, every ounce of trust, you wasted." Susan's face turned pale. The web they had spun for years collapsed in minutes. Karis stepped forward, presenting emails and witness statements that solidified the truth. "Everything he's saying is true. You cannot deny it." The emotional weight pressed down on the family. Aaron's friends shifted uncomfortably, realizing the depth of the deception. MacPherson paused, letting the silence fill the room. Rage had driven him this far, but he realized the final moment wasn't about destruction. It was about justice and his own moral code. "I have the power to crush them. But is that justice or vengeance? My son, my family. I must choose carefully." He closed the folder, looked at Aaron, and spoke. "You will repay what you've taken, and you will rebuild trust if you wish to remain part of this family. Fail, and the consequences will be severe. But know this, I am not your enemy. I am the truth you refuse to see." Aaron sank into his chair, shattered. Susan lowered her gaze, guilt etched in every line of her face. The storm outside had cleared. The mansion, once a stage for lies, now resonated with clarity. MacPherson's heart was still heavy, but he felt a sense of calm. The reckoning had arrived, not with chaos, but with deliberate, undeniable truth. Justice is not about vengeance. It's about accountability. They have learned that every action has a consequence, and I have preserved my integrity. If you uncovered someone's long-term betrayal, would you destroy them or give them a chance at redemption? Comment below. MacPherson stood by the window, gazing at the quiet city below. The storm had passed, leaving clarity in its wake. Tonight, the family had been confronted, lies had been revealed, and the first steps toward true accountability had begun. The mansion was quiet. Sunlight poured through the windows, casting warm reflections on the polished floors. The storm had passed, both outside and within the walls of MacPherson's home. After the reckoning, the air felt lighter, though the scars of betrayal lingered. The lies are gone. The deception is revealed. But the emptiness remains, and yet, there is hope. Justice has been served, but life must continue. Aaron sat in the study, head bowed. The weight of his actions pressed on him. Susan stood nearby, hands clasped tightly, shame etched in every movement. MacPherson entered slowly, observing them, not with anger, but with measured resolve. This house is not just bricks and walls. It's the memory of what we are as a family. You broke that trust, but the choice to rebuild it is still yours. Aaron's voice was small, hesitant. Aaron, Dad, I don't know if I can ever fix this. I lied. I betrayed everything. MacPherson firmly, yet gently. Acknowledging the truth is the first step. The rest we will see. But remember this, trust must be earned, and accountability is non-negotiable. Susan nodded silently, tears glistening in her eyes. MacPherson took a walk through the mansion's garden, Karis following quietly. The flowers swayed gently in the morning breeze. For the first time in months, he allowed himself to breathe deeply, unburdened by the constant weight of lies and manipulation. I thought revenge would fill the void, that exposing every betrayal would heal the wounds. But truth, justice, accountability, these are what restore the soul, not rage. Karis spoke softly. You did what you had to do. You protected yourself, revealed the truth, and preserved your integrity. That matters more than anything. MacPherson, nodding, yes, integrity. That is the only treasure they could never steal. Over the following days, Aaron and Susan began to face the consequences of their actions. Aaron repaid the funds, relinquished control over hidden assets, and underwent counseling to address his manipulative behavior. Susan acknowledged her complicity and worked to rebuild trust with MacPherson, starting small, through honest conversation and accountability. MacPherson observed from a distance, cautious but hopeful. He realized that justice was not about punishment alone. It was about allowing the betrayer to confront the truth and, if possible, choose redemption. They cannot undo the past, but they can learn from it. And I can finally release the anger that has consumed me for so long. MacPherson returned to his study, closing the black notebook that had chronicled years of betrayal, lies, and evidence. He placed it on the shelf, not as a reminder of the pain, but as a testament to truth and resilience. The mansion, once a stage for deception, now reflected clarity and order. Windows sparkled in the sunlight, rooms smelled of fresh flowers, and for the first time in years, MacPherson felt peace. The storm has passed. The truth has been revealed. Justice is done, and now life begins again. MacPherson stepped onto the balcony, overlooking the city. The wind carried away the last echoes of betrayal, leaving only the promise of renewal. He understood now that revenge alone could never heal. Only truth, integrity, and moral courage could restore balance. I faced betrayal, deception, and heartbreak, yet I survived. Not broken, not empty, but wiser. Justice served, lessons learned, and the future finally free. If you discovered someone close to you had betrayed your trust, would you seek revenge or find a path to justice and restoration? Comment your choice below. Thank you so much for watching my story all the way to the end. Your support means everything. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.